Hi guys, welcome to our daily encounter. Today we read about Moses and Aaron going down into Egypt to give a message of deliverance to the Israelites. And before they go down and actually give that message, we see Moses being reluctant to go down and give the message. He's very hesitant. He doesn't feel adequate to go down there. He doesn't think anyone's really going to listen to him. And he's kind of just giving excuses as to why he shouldn't go. He shouldn't be the one to tell this message. But the Lord said, he would give him signs that would testify that he was truly sent by the Lord. And one of these would be him throwing his staff onto the ground and it turning into a snake. And then when he would grab the snake, it would turn back into a staff again. Another one is him sticking his hand into his cloak and it turning leprous, and then putting it back there again and it becoming whole. And then also him taking water from the Nile and pouring it on the ground and it turning into blood. And so when Moses might be questioned about whether he was truly sent by the Lord, these various acts of transformation were the testimony that he truly was the messenger of God. And as we go out and have a message similar to Moses, that is the message that God has spoken a word of redemption. There is deliverance in Jesus Christ. As we go out and share the gospel and we let our neighbors, co-workers, family members, whoever else we can get into contact with, know about this message of deliverance, we too might feel inadequate, and we too might wonder if people would even take us seriously as we take this message out. And the signs that we have are similar to that of Moses. Not that we throw a staff on the ground and it turns into a snake, literally, or our hands becoming leprous, or water turning to blood, literally. But as we look at these three different signs of transformation, we can see that these are and can be symbolic of experiences of transformation we have. You see, when we go out and we give the message of the gospel and we talk about the deliverance that God has accomplished through Jesus Christ, it's our transformed life that will give validity to our message. When people see our lives transformed by God, then they know that we are the real deal. If we go out and share the message, but we don't really live a transformed life and we kind of just live like everybody else, we're perhaps involved in immorality or doing illegal things or whatever else the case may be, that doesn't do much for the testimony. But when people see a change in our lives, as they see us living a transformed life before God, that brings weight to our message. And it's done in these three ways. Some have seen these three different signs that Moses gave as symbolic of the three different enemies that we have spiritually in trying to walk the Christian life. The staff turning to a snake would symbolize Satan. The snake symbolizing Satan. In Revelation chapter 12, we're told, or Satan is actually called the serpent of old. And that points back to Genesis chapter 3 in the garden. The hand being brought into the cloak, becoming leprous and then whole again, would represent the flesh. The flesh would have been touched by this leprosy and then made whole again. And then you have the water being poured on the ground, and some see that as being symbolic of the world. Oftentimes water is symbolic of the world, especially in connection to seas and things like that. You might remember the parables that Jesus gave, the parable of the dragnet that was cast into the sea and brought in various different sorts of fish. And that was, of course, symbolic of the fact that the people of the kingdom would gather together. The angels would gather together, people of the world of all different kinds, and they'd be sorted through there between the good and the bad. But then Jesus also told his disciples that he would make them fishers of men. They were fishermen. But they would become fishermen of men in the sense that they would go into the world, just like they would go into the sea to go fishing. They would go into the world, not to catch fish, but to catch men for the kingdom. And so the water can symbolize the world. And if that is true, you have the three main enemies, spiritual enemies that we have: or Satan, the flesh, and the world. And these can be very powerful forces that work against us as we live the Christian life. But as we exercise power over them, as we exercise and put to work this transformation in connection to these three things, it becomes a testimony in and of itself that we are legit, that we truly are the real deal, that we're not just giving a message that we ourselves don't even follow, or trying to encourage other people to follow Jesus when we're not even following him. As we live a life in which Satan no longer controls us, to where our flesh is no longer diseased with sin, but has been made whole through Jesus Christ, and we're living a life of purity and cleanliness before him. And as we are living a life separated from the world, covered with the blood of Christ, that becomes a message in and of itself that people can witness. It's a testimony that they don't hear with their ears, but that they see with their eyes. They see the message actually lived out. And then that sets us up then to be able to share the message of Jesus Christ. So this shows the importance of a transformed life, not just for the sake of being holy and being obedient to the Lord, as important as that is, but also for the sake of giving a platform for the gospel as we go out and share it with other people. So as we do our reading today, let's take serious this story about Moses and signs that God had given him to bring validity to his message, and use that as encouragement to also want to have these signs in a symbolic way as we overcome Satan, the flesh, and the world in our day-to-day walk, trusting in the Lord, seeking his strength to help us in that transformation, so that we can have a ready testimony to give to people, so that the gospel will be more readily received and more people will find the deliverance that God offers through Jesus Christ. So with that, guys, I do thank you for watching the video today. I hope you guys have a great day. Love you guys. God bless.